Welcome to this week's edition of the Bronco Weekly Sports Wrap. I'm Cali Reis.
And I'm Denzel Johnson. Well, men's soccer beat Gonzaga this weekend with 2 goals scored by senior Harrison Hanley. They'll now have a bye this upcoming week before starting the second half of conference play at Portland.
Well, volleyball fell in their 2 matches this past weekend, but head up to the city to face USF this Friday at 6:30 p.m. EYEBRONCO caught up with head coach Jon Wallace to talk about the team.
Thanks, guys. I appreciate that. We are entering the second half of our conference play. Our record isn't exactly where we want it to be, but we're very excited about the second half. I believe our girls are getting better every week. I like the improvement of our freshmen, Nicole Hess, Sabrina Clayton, and Mary Shepard. All 3 are doing a great job, and they're getting better every time out. Had some time to look at our stats, and I feel we're very close. In my head, we're about 5 to about 8 swings away from turning our record around. So I believe we're real close. This week in practice, we're addressing a few things, one of them being trying to increase our hitting percentage, which is really managing our swings, trying to find a way to get more kills, as well as making our 2 outside hitters, which are freshmen, just understand how they can manage their swings to eliminate some errors, continue to put pressure on the other team. We're also addressing our defense. We've recognized that when we play defense, when we play hard, intense defense, our energy levels increase. And when our energy levels are at a high level, we tend to score points. Our girls tend to play more relaxed and are a lot more productive. So defense is a big focus this week. Moving forward, this week we play USF 6:30 at USF. They beat us here in a match where we felt we won the first 2 games and we let the third one slip away. We learned a lot from that match. We learned a lot about ourselves and how to compete and how to finish games. So going forward this week, we will prepare for them all week. Our girls are excited to get this second half off to a good start.
The cross-country teams competed in the Bronco Invitational this past weekend. The women's finished in 6th, while the men placed 10th. The teams are very successful in the Bronco Open race, while the women finished on top in 1st place and the men finished in 2nd.
Well, men's water polo hosted their Alumni Game this past weekend and will now host their own Bronco Invitational, the Rodeo. I got to sit down with senior Tucker Carlson to talk about the games. So, Tucker, this past weekend, you guys had your Alumni Game. How was it seeing some of your old teammates around?
Oh, it's always awesome. We get to meet some of the older guys from past years. It's great to hear stories about Coach. Coach has been here for a long time now, so we don't really know too much about him, but the older guys have all the deep secrets, which are fun to pick up every once in a while. So
this weekend, your team hosts the Rodeo.
Yeah.
So what are you guys doing this week to prepare for these games?
Well, it's just like any other week. We're working hard, practicing plays, swimming a lot, just basically making sure we're prepared.
So is there any game in particular you guys are looking forward to?
Yeah, so we have 2 games that we are really looking forward to. All of them are very important, but the 2 specific ones are Cal Baptist on Thursday, which is before the tournament, and then Concordia as well. Those 2 will be conference matchups, so it's very important that we win those games because they determine where we're seated in our WWBA tournament at the end of the year.
Well, that's awesome. Good luck to you and the team this weekend.
Thank you very much.
Men's and women's tennis both competed in the ITA Fall Regionals. Congrats to number 5 seed Katie Lee, who advanced to the round of 16 at Palo Alto. Also, congrats to number 3 seed John Lamble, who reached the quarterfinals in both the singles and doubles matches.
Well, men's golf competed in the Alistair McKenzie Invitational this past week, where sophomore Carlos Briones had his first top 10 collegiate finish. The team finished 13th overall and now prepares for the Pacific Invitational next week.
Well, Cali, the women's soccer had another great weekend, picking up 2 wins on the road against St. Mary's and University of Pacific.
Yeah, that's right. We had 2 games on the road last weekend, and it's not easy to get wins on the road, as you probably know that. So really proud of my team, and especially proud of Danny Weatherholt and Sofia Huerta for both scoring 2 goals this past weekend. So we're really excited going into this weekend. We have a game at Buck Shaw against San Francisco at 1 p.m. on Sunday. So be sure to come out and support your Broncos.
Well, that's going to do it for this week's edition of Bronco Weekly Sports Wrap. Go Broncos.